Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Dallas, Texas. And it's 7 p.m. right here in the Big Apple. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog Scipio, joined each and every week, God help me, by Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. How are you, Amelia?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. We have a familiar face with us tonight. Our friend
Hello.
Jennifer Banco. She
Yes.
is back.
Welcome back.
She is
having
uniquely
me.
qualified. Jennifer is uniquely qualified to chime in on tonight's show. She is an actress, child star, former child star. She's not a kid no more. She ain't no baby no more. We are going to talk tonight in depth about Quiet on the Set, the Nickelodeon scandal. It rocked children's television to its core, to its fundamental foundation, and it illuminated us to names like Dan Schneider, Brian Peck, Jason Handy, and the late Cody Longo. We'll talk about why he's the late Cody Longo. Tonight, uniquely adult, but in a children's, for the most part, a festive children's atmosphere, riddled with double entendre and sexual innuendo. Jennifer, I want to come right to you at the beginning of this thing. You are, as I said, uniquely qualified to talk about this. When I watched the show Quiet on Set, it was, to say the least, disturbing. Even more so to know that parents weren't allowed on set. Is that a standard operating practice?
Illegal. That's illegal.
Is it illegal?
That's against SAG's rules and regulations. That doesn't make any sense.
It's interesting because one of the things that was very, very clear during the show is that parents were not permitted on set.
You can have a closed set, but you have to allow the parents to at least have some kind of video or something in the other room. You can't allow minors unless they legally gave up their rights to those people. You can't do that.
Actually, Jennifer, you brought up the herring in this equation. I'm going to tell you why. Evidently, and this is a thing in Hollywood, folks, I can't make this up, and please tell me if I'm lying, Jen. There's a number of child actors and actresses who are, by the age of 14 or 15, again, folks, can't make it up, they are legally emancipated.
That's correct. I was legally emancipated. I graduated 2 years early. I did 2 years of school in 6 months. I took the final, and if I got an A or a B on it, I didn't take the course because I already knew the information, and I flew through high school, and I got my license early. And at 15 and a half, I lived on my own apartment in LA.
Yeah. Okay. And so there's proof in the pudding, folks. There she told. So I'm not making any of this up. See, and that's
they pushed, and I cried because I didn't want to divorce my parents. It felt like divorcing my parents. But my mom sat me down and was like, if you really want to do this, you'll work more. And once I did work a lot more because you can work as like an 18-year-old.
Yeah, sure. It's interesting that you can, from what, and I did a little bit of research into this. From what I understand, that's because it really is a slippery slope, both ethically and legally, because there are lawyers on both sides of this, and they both make a compelling argument for their case. Here's the problem, though: a child is a child. Whether you're legally emancipated or not, a kid is a kid.
Okay. I hate to say this, but this is the parents' fault. The parents should have been there. I'll give you a great example. Okay. It was a closed set when I was doing Sunset Beach.
Okay.
They would not allow anybody on set. Well, guess who was allowed on set? My husband, because I made it that way. These parents did not fight for these children, because I'm telling you, if they really want them, they will give them what they need to be able to do it. The parents, this is the parents.
This is really, it's disconcerting to me. On many, many levels. It's very disconcerting to me on many levels. It is reprehensible that these kids are not in any way, shape, or form represented for their own interest. They're represented for the show's interest, but not if they have a problem, professional or personal. They're on their own. I hate to break it to you guys, but they're on their own. We're going to talk about a case of Cody Longo, the late Cody Longo, who took his life at just 21 years of age. All right. A former teen Nick at Night star. He did a show called Hollywood Heights. All right. This poor kid OD'd himself into a suicide. Awful. Because he had no protection. Sad, sad case. And guys like Dan Schneider, this scumbag, let's just call him fucking what he is. He's a scumbag. Dan Schneider and guys like Brian Peck, a.k.a. Pickle Boy. We're going to talk about that piece of shit in a minute. Jason Handy, and of course, Cody Longo. One of the things that I need to clarify right from the get-go, and you're not going to like it, guys. You're not going to like it. But at no time was anyone on actual set sexually accosted or molested. It was either off set, off studio, or at a producer or production assistant's house or a writer's house. In the case of at least 4 of them, they were with the showrunner at the time. And oftentimes the showrunner is a producer. In this case, Dan Schneider. Let's talk about that, Jennifer. The role of the showrunner. What legal obligation does a showrunner have to?
I don't know.
Okay, so you're not aware. Okay. My understanding from the limited answers I was able to get was that they are responsible for the overall context of the show, and from its inception to its production to whatever has to go on. Oftentimes, the showrunner is the producer or becomes the producer, is what I understand. That being the case, let's talk about how and why now Nickelodeon is under fire. This happened some almost 20 years ago. Why are we Why 20 years? They're not kids anymore. They're in their 30s. Some of them are in their 40s now. Why 20 years? Why did we have to wait? Does anybody want to tell me, please? Because I'm open.
Well, maybe they were scared. Maybe they were in contract. Maybe they had to wait until certain contracts were up. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You know, if these things were happening to these children, they might have gotten asked to sign a piece of paper.
And therein lies the problem. Jennifer Banco just in one sentence nailed it.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on behind closed doors, and therein lies the problem. You don't
And I
know.
was never allowed behind a closed door without my mother on the other side with her ear like this. When we were at events, Hollywood events, I wasn't even allowed to go to the bathroom by myself. My little brother hated it, but my
Yeah.
mom always made my
Yeah.
brother escort
Good.
me into the bathroom and stand outside
Good.
the door. This is
Yeah.
the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, talk about your experience. Now, I want people to understand that Jennifer Banco is best known for Friday the 13th, The New Blood. She was, I think, what, 10 or 11, right? You were
I was 10
just,
when I did
okay.
that one.
You were just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what precautions were taken for your benefit on a film set.
Well, I mean, my mom. So we knew that these things were going on in Hollywood. We knew that these things were happening to children. We knew. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody already knew. Now the world knows. But
Yeah.
the industry has always known. These parents know.
Mm-hmm.
These parents know. It's the parents. It's so freaking scary. My mom would never let me alone.
Mhm.
Directors would ask me to spend the night. Producers, my agents would ask me to spend the night. My mom would never let me. The time she finally said yes was the day Heather O'Rourke died, and we had the same agent. And I was there when she got the call, and my mom said, that was it. That was your one time, and I'm taking it as divine intervention, and you were not allowed.
It's interesting
we
because
even got sexually accosted by one of the teachers on the set.
Oh, Jesus.
So because I grew up in Riverside, but I was always in LA. So we would drive 2 hours to LA, 2 hours home. So a lot of times we would just stay in LA.
Yeah.
And I was working for Mattel at the time. I did a lot of their in-house videos. When they would come up with new toys, they would make prototypes. They would make these videos. They would take them to these trade shows, and that's where they would be bought.
Sure.
And I worked for Mattel like this, like it was a series. I was there all the freaking time. And so we got close with one of the school teachers. So she said, oh, come stay at my house. And we thought, okay.
Yeah.
And we had my Aunt Liz was with us. And the teacher kept trying to get my Aunt Liz to come stay in the other room with her. And we were like, okay, this is a little weird,
Yeah.
And so my mom, my Aunt Liz, and I are all huddled in one bed, like, with the door closed, like wondering. And then she comes in, this teacher comes in and drops her bottoms in front of us.
Oh,
just
my goodness.
hairy vag out. Yeah.
What's wrong with people? Like,
Oh
what
my
the fuck
gosh.
is wrong with people? For real.
My mom, my aunt, and me, all this,
This is so
That's
symptomatic of the television and film industry with regard to children. Jennifer, would you say, and then be honest with me, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Did you have a stage mother? The so-called stage mother?
Not really. I mean, it was always like up to me. If I didn't want to do it, we didn't do it. But if I wanted to do it, I better do it all the fucking way. I had a crazy mother.
Okay, crazy.
Crazy mother.
Right.
But not a stage mother like that. Like, she would never send me into a room alone like that. A stage mother does that. Somebody who cares more about your fame and your fortune and all of that than you do about your child. Those people do that. No. I had a very protective mother. If anything, I had a helicopter mom.
Oh, good. Good for you. See, at the core of all of this, at the central core of the Nickelodeon scandal is the sexualization of children, particularly young girls. I don't like it in television. I don't like it in film, particularly in film where the guidelines in film are very lax. Very, very lax.
Oh, they make you wear padded bras. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you're like 14, 15, 16 years old. Oh, yeah. I'm talking like bombshell. They take in your outfits.
You go.
They do. They do.
If you don't believe that, folks, look at
yeah,
Natalie Portman in Lost in Space. Okay. At 12, she had an hourglass figure with full breasts. Okay. If you don't believe me, please, I implore you, look at Natalie Portman in Lost in Space. Take a look for yourself. I'll say no more. We're going to take a look at very early Ariana Grande. And then Jen and Amelia, I want you to jump all over this. Let's take a look at this.
Drink water upside down. I'm thirsty. It's not possible. This has been me in a video. Come on, give up the juice. These videos made me so nervous.
Why?
Hey everyone, say your name and get something.
Just a little
Because you never know when you're doing it. You don't. You never know. This better not be on the tube when I get home.
I would not put this on the tube.
Why would I post my mind?
You know what's going to happen if I put this on YouTube. What?
You have
You know.
Hey!
Hi, what's going on here?
Nothing. You didn't cut out that part.
Why are you sitting on the floor of the set?
Because we are.
They are. Did you just bark?
No. No.
Just for fun, I'm gonna say 3 sentences. Oh man, my uvula got stuck between that hamster's toes. But is that swingy thing in the back of your throat right here? Ah! I'm soaking wet! Have you ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out.
Okay, so let me stop this here for a minute.
Whoa.
All right, so there's a few more minutes to go. I want to talk about this. What's this this deal about, give up the juice, okay? Can we be any more overtly sexual? Squeezing a potato, give up the juice. Lying on the bed upside down, knowing that the water is going nowhere near her mouth, okay? Number 2. Number 3, the most egregious, shoving her feet into her mouth, sucking on her toes. What's this? What is this all about? Please, somebody, help me illuminate the old man here. All right, Amelia, what am I missing?
Look, it's all sexual. I mean, the potatoes, like, actually, as those, it's like a penis. Getting the stuff out of the penis, basically. Yeah, and then the water, of course, backwards is like, might as well be sucking a dick. Might as well just say plain and simple.
Jen, chime in. You've got this look.
I don't understand. I'm gonna say it again. I can
see how blue your eyes are from here.
I don't understand the parents, because I was blessed with a mother that would have said something. That would have at least questioned it. That would have explained it to me and been like, this is what they're insinuated. Are you still comfortable doing this? My mom wouldn't have let me blindly freaking do that.
Here's the problem, though. Again,
let me make the choice to be a childhood whore.
But here's, as I said previously, and this is the linchpin. It's really critical that everyone understand this. Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon had a policy. It was a legally binding policy. No parents on set, period. End of discussion.
So
there were no parents there.
That's so freaking weird. I always wonder. So, like, I wasn't allowed to audition for certain things. I had a manager that would not allow me to audition for certain things. And he wouldn't allow me to work with certain people. And I always thought, why don't you believe in me? Why don't you believe in me? And now that I'm older, I was really protected, guys. I had really good team. I was freaking blessed. I thought everybody was so hard on me. No, they loved me and they were protecting me.
You don't know how blessed you really were. Take a look at this.
I'm thirsty. It's not possible. Anyways, like I was saying, we have a great show, and I just love everything.
Excuse me. Is this the bowling alley?
No, this is... yeah, this is the bowling alley. Stick around. I'm gonna show Andrew Keegan where the bowling alley is. See you in a second. Just for fun, I'm gonna say 3 sentences. Oh man, my uvula got stuck between that hamster's toes. Well, is that swingy thing in the back of your throat right here? Ah! I'm soaking wet. Have you ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out. I'm thirsty. It's not possible. Anyways.
So you get it. I mean, there's only like a minute left, but you get the gist
It
here.
literally brings tears to my eyes, guys. It literally makes me cry.
Yeah. It infuriated me. I'm not much of a crier, but I get intensely worked up inside. I'm quite angered at the knowledge that adults, grown adult men, are behind this.
Well, here's the thing too, is things go through channels. So it went through every channel and everybody was like, it's cool, including the parents.
Yeah.
It had
Jen,
to go through
here's
network.
what's
It had to
even,
go through, I mean, it had to be okayed
Yeah.
by a lot of people.
yeah. Here's what's even more disconcerting to me. The production assistant, the second assistant director, the head writer were all women. Where were they? Where were they? No, I can't get an answer on this. Where were they?
Yeah.
You think that the women would at least go to bat and say something. No one opened their fucking mouth.
Yeah.
No one. And this is why I'm angered to the point of wanting to take someone's scrawny pencil neck in between my fat fingers and choke the life out of them. This is what angers me, you know? And we're talking about children, folks.
Yeah, children.
Kids. Let's talk about Dan Schneider, one of the culprits at work here. Dan Schneider, as you may or may not know, is one of the actors. You've seen him in the American Pie series of films. Again, Nickelodeon original programming. He worked his way up to production assistant and producer. Now he's a very powerful guy in children's television. Still is to this day. He's got 3 offers on the table that I know personally. 3 offers on the table right now. 2 of them for children's networks. The other is the Lifetime channel, which is a scary thought.
Exactly.
The Lifetime channel, that's where like most of like the Christian actors go and continue working.
Yeah,
So that's really scary.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here. Brian Peck is an interesting cat. Brian Peck was a head writer and a production assistant on the show. He had also an on-screen role as quote unquote pickle boy. Now, clear reference to a phallic symbol, okay? Just like the potato, as Amelia you referred to, cock in hand, give up the juice, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Pickle boy was the same way, okay? If you're going to be so overtly sexual on a children's program that it's so in your face that it's hiding in plain sight, you are either a bigger pervert than I think you are, or you're absolutely brilliantly mad genius for getting away with it. And I don't know which I feel. The fact that it was in your face and they got away with it is a testament to the ignorance of the Nickelodeon network and their parent company, Comcast, NBC, Universal. Okay? So let's call a spade a spade.
Right.
All right? Nobody was watching these kids. I don't care how you slice it or dice it. Nobody was watching these kids. Now, the other one, convicted pedophile, the second convicted pedophile, Jason Handy. Would you want to venture a guess, Amelia, what his job was?
Let's see. Wasn't he like the tutor or something like that?
Yes, you are there. Yep. He was the children's tutor / acting coach. Okay. Jason Handy, a convicted, I want to say this again, Jennifer Banco, a convicted sexual predator, a pedophile. Okay. So too is Brian Peck, a convicted sexual predator, a pedophile who was hired right after his court date that he won, by the way, but still labeled as a sexual predator. That was part of the plea deal. Got a job at the Cartoon Network. Okay, working on children's programming. This is what we're talking about. Why, Angelo, why are you so angry? Why are you so frustrated? This is why. This is why, folks. You don't understand. The country has gone to hell in a handbasket.
But I have a question. Because yes, these people are the ones that did this, but there are families all around the world that sat there watching their shows with their children. Why wasn't there an uproar by society? How come nobody cared until the kids came forward?
Thank you. Mm-hmm. That's why I said
this was happening the whole time. Every adults were watching this with the kids. Nobody
said. Oh, and that's why I said to you a moment ago. What about the women on set? You would think that even the most ardent of women would have some kind of maternal instinct.
Right.
No one said a goddamn thing.
Especially since so many women are either raped or molested at some point in their lives. You would think that women would have more of a heart, but a lot of these people that have gone through these experiences, they want other people to go through that experience.
You want to share your story,
There's
Amelia?
just some evil fucking people out there.
Yeah.
You want to share your story, Amelia?
Sure, why not? That happened to me a couple of times. I was gonna say maybe 8 years. Well, my first encounter, I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old. My mom's uncle molested me. And of course, I didn't know what was going on at the time. I was little. And he would come over or my mom's house and he'd say, come under the blanket. And I was like, no, I don't want to. He goes, you better. And he would threaten me, of course, and of course, touch me inappropriately. And then he would come visit his brother, my grandfather, and he would molest not just myself, but a boy cousin and another younger cousin. And he threatened that we better not tell or else.
So you see that it's quite the epidemic. And Amelia, thank you for your bravery. Mm-hmm. I know that took a lot for you. I wish I could say this were the end of it, but there's much more. But we will have to take a small break. Let's just do this, and we'll be back right after this, folks. We'll be back. What's the Buzz? Welcomes Radio 2 from Belgium. Welcome aboard, and welcome to the Buzz. For expert bodywork and collision repair, there's only one place in Clementon, New Jersey. It's Bruce's Collision Center at 114 White Horse Pike in Clementon, New Jersey. Call Bruce at 856-783-1475 and tell him the Mad Dog sent you from WWTF Radio, global and around the world.
Do
you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we. What's the Buzz? America's Best Podcast is back with Jen Banco and Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. Jennifer, what are you smoking?
What?
Huh? She's like,
What are
what?
you smoking?
My nicotine vape.
Oh, you vapor. Okay.
It is a dirty, dirty, dirty habit. I hate it. I wish I could
Yeah.
stop. It's the
You've been
worst.
busted, baby.
I was doing it on the side.
Yeah.
That's why you don't tell him anything. You don't show it.
Look,
It's a secret.
I live. My daughter. I
Smoking
live in New
DMT
Jersey.
over
So
here. That's what I'm doing.
I live in New Jersey. It's legal here. You know, grass is legal here. People, you know, the vaping is like secondary here.
I hide mine
well,
from him.
my- all I smell all day is grape, vape, and weed. Okay, so
I have a grape one too. So
anyway, yeah. So we are one of the people at the cornerstone of Nickelodeon, particularly in the world of teen television, is a guy named Drake Bell. We're going to take a look at about a 3 or 4 minute video. It's not long. It's not long at all. You're going to hear Drake Bell himself tell you what happened to him. Jennifer, I want you to watch this particularly close because I have a question regarding his I don't want to say his honesty. I'll say his credibility. Okay, because my red flag went up, and I have this funny feeling that he's like acting here. So I want you to tell me, is he acting? Let's watch this.
You ever told your story publicly before?
I've never told my story publicly.
Drake would be in the dressing room or something, and in would pop Brian and just touch Drake. You know, do things that, wait a second, what are you doing? Drake can put that on himself. And the thing is, this is in front of people. Then he'd maybe walk over to Drake and be feeding him some lines or whatever and put his arm around his waist, put his hand up on his shoulder and kind of run it down his arm and things like that. And this would happen routinely. Was just always uncomfortable.
Leo, as you know, is the latest, hottest, hunkiest teen idol there is.
Yeah, muscles.
I saw this video of Brian Peck on Growing Pains with Leonardo DiCaprio, grabbing his shoulder, running across him and going down his arm. That's the kind of behavior I saw him with my son. Same frickin' behavior. So I went to production and said, you know, I really am very uncomfortable with this guy, Brian Peck, always being around my son. I go, I don't see anything abnormal, but it just doesn't, I don't have a good feeling. And she goes, oh, well, I don't know if you knew it or not, but he's gay. Maybe you're just homophobic and you just, you know, you just don't understand that he's a touchy-feely guy. So I said, okay. And then it just kept not setting well with me. So I told people on the set. And I was ostracized. And then there was a birthday party for Drake. and Brian wanted to have it at his house. And I said, whoa, Brian, I don't want Drake having his birthday party at your house.
It was my 15th birthday. Brian suggested, oh, hey, you can perform and everybody can come. I lived in Orange County, which was an hour away, and everyone I wanted to come to my birthday was who I worked with on the show. And so it made it easy. It just didn't seem like something that was that out of the ordinary.
Then after I got his presents out of the car, I looked in the bag and I saw these birthday cards from Brian's friends that were at the party, and they were really inappropriate. They just had adult things in them, adult descriptions, and I thought, whoa, this is... And then I said, Drake, what is this? He goes, I don't know, I didn't even know I had those. And so we just left it at that.
The situation with Brian, this had all been building up. And so my dad started making it very difficult for Brian to be around me. I think Brian got a sense that my dad was on the watch. And so he started to really drive a wedge between my dad and me. He started talking about how my dad's stealing my money. Nobody likes that my dad's on set. He's a real problem. So he just started making me believe that he was horrible for my career. I wasn't going to be able to move forward with him in it. And coming from someone like Brian, I was believing it because he's been in this business for so long and he must know more than us. Also because I was spending so much time more so around him than I was really my dad.
I think Drake was so distraught over everything that he avoided me, which is understandable. He was under a lot of, I don't want my dad to be my manager, I feel guilty about that.
And my mom and my dad had a very tumultuous relationship. They did not get along, and I think Brian saw that. So Brian really started getting into my mom's mind and telling her the same things he was telling me.
He found an attorney to find out about Drake's financial situation.
There was never any mishandling of any funds, but it was like an army against my dad.
After that, Drake had stayed at his mom for about a week, and then I got a phone call from his mom saying, Drake doesn't want you to be his manager anymore.
I was sleeping on the couch where I would usually sleep, and I woke up to him. I just opened my eyes, I woke up, and he was sexually assaulting me. Elaborate on that on camera, really.
Whatever you feel comfortable or you think would help.
Why don't you do this?
Yeah.
Why don't you think of the worst stuff that someone can do to somebody as a sexual assault, and that'll answer your question.
Okay. You buying the story?
He's just very smug. He's a very smug guy.
Yeah,
He comes
and
across very smug.
and
So
that
I don't know. I might not be acting. He just might be that smug of a person.
yeah, I that was part of my issue. That's why I thought to myself, I'm going to ask Jen. She's an actress. She would
Well, I
know
mean,
the
even-
little.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut
No,
you off, but
no,
even
you-
just
you-
the way
you
it
would definitely-
starts with his like one eyebrow raised, like just smug.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but when I was raped in my sleep and I woke up to a man fucking me, when I started telling that story, I'm healed from it now, and look, I'm getting mad. You don't.
Yeah.
You're not smug.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I don't want to say that it didn't happen. I don't know, but
Well, and
it's a very
therein
weird
lies-
stance to take.
That's why I said to you, there seems to me to be a credibility issue. Now, is it his smugness that's, swaying the truth here, or in some way diminishing the impact of the truth, I don't know. Do I believe him? I want to believe him, but he's certainly coming across with at least an attitude. I'll say that.
Smug about it.
Yeah. Amelia, what is your take on this?
He's probably been asked so many times that he's probably tired of talking about it because he keeps bringing it up to him that he's probably just upset about it, and it's just he probably wants to just forget about it. Probably.
Yeah, I think it's just his smugness. I think is what's making you feel that way. But I wouldn't say that he's lying.
No, because I mean, it's happened to me a couple of times by an uncle and a cousin that.
Yeah,
it brings it up to me. I get angry about it, and I want to talk about it, but to help so people it doesn't happen to them in a family, you know, maybe it can help them heal. Like it's helped me heal. But it makes me angry to talk about it, but at the same time, it makes me heal at the same time.
Yeah.
Jennifer, I'm going to give you the pencil to television's children's issues. I'm going to give you the pencil. What are your first 5 rules for kids TV?
What do you mean?
Okay. You're in charge of children's television. I'm giving you the pencil to make your rules. What are your first 5 rules for kids TV? The do's and don'ts.
The do's and don'ts. Parents must be present at all times.
Yeah.
All right. I'm with you.
All right. Here you go.
Teachers must have background checks done on them to make sure that they are safe to be around children.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The
Go for it.
content must be educational for children. It needs to at least spark some kind of interest in opening their eyes to something. There has to be some kind of moral to the story at the end. It can't just be about whatever. There's got to be an actual plot, an actual story, an actual lesson to be learned.
Like a lesson,
Children's television should be teaching children lessons about life.
Thank you.
Yes.
What happened to the basic, simple premise? Exactly.
And it can be good. It can be good. You can have fights between families and stuff, but they should be learning how to communicate through those problems, or you know what I mean, showing
to solve it.
Healthy coping mechanisms. They should be learning healthy coping mechanisms on these TV shows instead of learning these dirty things. And I can't say that some of these kids didn't know what they were doing when they were doing it. And so even though they're kids, that kind of falls on the kid too.
Yeah. It's, and it's a question that and it's maybe unfair that I hit you, out of the blue with that. But, everybody that's worth their weight, anyone that's got any sensibility to them. And fortunately, we're 3 people who have sensibilities. Anyone with any kind of moral compass is going to say just what Jen Banco said.
Yes.
Which is fundamental, basic. It's not out of line. It's not outrageous. And it protects the kids involved.
Absolutely. And also the costumes have to be appropriate costumes.
Oh, that's another thing we're going to talk about.
Wardrobe.
By the way, I should tell everyone, by the way, just so you know, the person who approved all costumes on the show was the executive producer, Dan Schneider. He was also the writer, showrunner, director, often head writer. So a lot of this crap came from his mind. And it's essentially what it is, in my opinion. It's juvenile high school shit coming out of a 45-year-old guy at the time.
Whoa.
40, a man in his 40s. I think he's probably somewhere around my age now. He's probably around, because I'm 65. So he's probably younger than I am, but he's probably closer to 60. So he's not a kid.
No, but sex sells. Sex sells, and all these people care about is money. That's all they care about.
It's a travesty to say that sex sells, but you're absolutely right. Look at Heather O'Rourke and mention
The oldest profession. It is the oldest profession.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably why the parents didn't say anything and let their kids continue.
And why the
doing
kids
shows.
didn't say anything, because I'm sorry, if people were touching me like that as a kid, I'd be like, please don't touch me like that.
Right.
Don't touch. Why are you touching me?
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And the kids didn't
Well,
do
what
that.
about the
and I wouldn't
notion?
be losing my job over it. You know what I mean? It's inappropriate. You're an adult.
What about the notion that they're playing? What about the notion that's been made that they're playing to an adult audience through children's programming? There are. I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about, Jennifer and Amelia. There was a show, thank God, is no longer on the air, called Toddlers and Tiaras.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay. I state my case. That's what I'm talking about. It was a program geared for middle-aged men, guys under the protective banner of a child's beauty contest. First of all, shame on every mother. Shame on all of you bitches for exploiting your children in such an egregious manner. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Yes.
And shame on TLC for having the horrible sensibility of airing that shit at 8 p.m. when every pedophile and hairy Harry is watching. Shame on you.
Absolutely.
You created a generation of pedophiles. Congratulations, TLC. Congratulations.
Yeah. My daughter and I were flipping through the channel one day when she was about 4 years old, and she looked at it, she goes, Mommy, please don't ever do that to me. And I said, honey, I'll never do that to you. I promise.
Thank God.
I did beauty pageants as a child. That's how I even started acting. We got approached by an agent. She literally followed us home, all the way back to Riverside. But it wasn't like that back then. So when I did beauty pageants, it was all natural. You didn't do the hair pieces.
Right.
You didn't do the flippers. You didn't do all of that. If you had missing teeth, you had missing teeth. You know, like, it's a totally different vibe. So when Toddlers and Tiaras first came out, I was like, yay, how fun.
Jennifer.
And then I started watching it and I'm like, this is not a beauty pageant. What is this?
Exactly. Jennifer, there are 6- and 7-year-old girls wearing padded bras. Wearing, you can't, I'm not making any of this up. People don't understand. I'm not a word of what I'm saying is fabricated in any way.
No.
We're talking about little kids, little children.
Have you seen the lady that has a TikTok? I wish I knew what her name is, but she has a 4-year-old daughter. And all of her videos are of her 4-year-old daughter basically like eating things that are shaped like a penis. And she'll say
phallic symbols.
She'll say things like, I swallowed it. Is that okay? She's 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
She's all over TikTok. She's 4.
You know why? Because people are essentially whores that will sell themselves and their children for an almighty dollar.
Yes.
Okay? And that's why I have absolutely zero respect for TikTok and anyone on it and people who do business on TikTok. You're fucking whores. Go out and get a job and make some real money if you're able to. You know? Understand this. We have a generation of people that will sell their soul for a dollar bill. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is what it comes down to. It comes down to simple, basic morality. You've got a producer, a director, a head writer, a production assistant who couldn't keep their hands off of little boys and girls under the protective custody of Time Warner. I'm sorry, not Time Warner. NBC Universal. Comcast company. It's an Xfinity company, okay? This is what we're talking about. Dan Schneider Brian Peck, Pickle Boy, Jason Handy, convicted, and the late Cody Longo. Okay? Couldn't keep their hands off of little boys and girls. Well, guess what? You would think that television would have learned a lesson. They learned absolutely nothing. Not a goddamn thing did they learn. Because save for one of them that is dead, all the other three are working again in kids' television.
Yeah.
Take a look at
that's a big part of what Hollywood is, what Hollywood always has been.
Horrible.
This is Hollywood. This is Hollywood, guys. This
Take
is
a
it.
look at this shit.
This isn't like some surprise thing. It's always been that way. It has always been like that. Look at Shirley Temple. It hasn't changed, you guys. This is nothing new. There is nothing new to say or see or hear there. It's the same situation, different people, different faces, but it's the same satanic fucking game they've been playing since
Absolutely. They did to Shirley Temple. They did it to Judy Garland. They did it to people like
What's the beautiful model that was modeled when she was like 10 and they were talking about her body when she's like 10 years old? Like Cindy Crawford? No. What's the one
Brooke
with
Shields?
the lagoon?
Brooke Shields, yes.
Oh, yeah, Brooke Shields, yeah. Well, look at back in the day. Bridget Bardot, 14 years old, doing a nude film at 14. Because in France, it's legal.
Yeah.
But then again, there's not much in France that is illegal. So that's France. Take a look at this, folks.
In, out. Duh. In, out. In, No. Stupid, overly realistic sitcoms. Okay. Just gotta stay calm. Got tons of time before Lance gets here. Just gotta be calm. Sooner or later, someone will come in here, help me get my toe unstuck, and see me naked.
I want you to take a look at this. I don't know if you can see it, but she's got tears in her eyes. This girl's actually crying. Her name is Miranda Cosgrove. She was iCarly.
I love her.
If he likes me, takes me home. Lights, camera, axiom. If he likes me, takes me home.
You can't be in.
I'm the executive producer.
Yeah, okay, pull the other one, buddy.
I created.
Yeah, all right, get out.
Hi, cuteness. Hi, cuteness. Ew. Hey, you weirdo.
This is what happens when it gets late.
Yeah, seriously. Let us go home, Dan. We would be home if you had gotten some of your lines right earlier in the day, right? Am I right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who's embarrassed now? Who's embarrassed? No. Oh my God. What? It wouldn't be a video for iCarly if I didn't do this to you. I don't. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. That is my spare tire. Jeanette McCurdy, longboard skater, professional.
Derek Trainer, weird voice speaker, not professional. Wow!
You have to go. Go. Oh, that was kind of cute. Your cereal, kids. Oh, Jesus. Green tea.
By the way, Dan Schneider's a fat fuck. Look at him.
It looks like grass. It tastes like grass. So do you. Hey! It's an annoying guy with a camera. Hey! What time is it, Miranda?
Just trust me, you'll be fine.
you doing? Your zipper's down. Zip it up. Okay, listen, this cannot keep happening. This is a kid's show. You can't be walking around with a bunch of guys with their zippers hanging out. You want one of the kids to see your thing? Huh? I don't care if you're a girl. Girls got things too. I don't want to see girl things or guy things. 3 words. Zip it up. Got it? You're gone. And
one where Chelsea Brummett had to drink bath water.
Who's ready to see Chelsea drink an entire glass of nasty truck driver bathwater?
Chelsea, you ready? There are little hairs floating around in there.
Sounds tasty. Start the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Like, yes, I'm aware that that was probably not actually bathwater and she probably did not drink anybody's actual hairs, but is it just me or is the intent still very clearly done to humiliate these kids?
And therein is the question. Now, by the way, those of you who don't know anything about editing, you went from clearly clouded water to a glass of milk is essentially what you watched. But the woman makes a point. Was this deliberately done to humiliate these kids? The answer is very clearly and obviously yes. At every opportunity they had. Again, the people writing this show, 2 men, 2 women, surprised again. I can't emphasize enough how I am shocked beyond belief that at least not one of the women came forward, Jen. What do you make of that? Like, why would they just let these kids fend for themselves? You've been around a long time.
Well, I mean, you don't know who these people belong to. These writers could be owned by others. I mean, it's a really sick and twisted industry.
True.
Those people might not even be in charge of their own lives and their own careers. Like, it's
true.
So easily you can accidentally, literally sign over your rights to yourself with these people.
Yeah.
And they literally own you.
When
so you
in
either
Hollywood,
do what they say, you write what they want you to write, and you roof over your head, or you get exiled from the industry, and more often than not, you die of an overdose.
you hear what Jen is telling you. She just confirmed in 30 seconds what we did a 2-hour show telling you about. It's called selling your soul to the devil, folks.
Yes.
That's what happens. You sell yourself over. You get what you get. You think that you're making the best deal for yourself. Well, guess what? After you sign on the dotted line, you don't own you anymore. Other people do. And we've seen so many cases of accidental overdoses, car accidents,
Plane crashes.
The brakes went out on the car. The plane went off course, you know. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell happened to Kobe Bryant. That was no accident.
No, that wasn't an accident because what he was working on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you go back and you look at a lot of these famous people that died in helicopters, died of overdoses, all of this stuff, if you really do some digging, they were about to expose people.
Absolutely.
They were working, and a lot of them were working on this sex trafficking stuff. I don't think that's what Kobe was working on. I think he was exposing drugs being in a product, like actual drugs being sold in a product.
We just did a 2-hour show, Jen, on human trafficking, adult and child sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Where do you think the #1 place for sex trafficking is? You're going to die when I tell you.
Where?
Hawaii.
Oh, I believe it. They're the school buses with the fucking kids. The school buses with the kids, you guys. They're probably Oprah's fucking property underground somewhere.
Hawaii, okay? There's nowhere to escape on Hawaii, folks.
No.
There's nowhere to go. You're on an island,
Yeah.
okay? Like in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's bad on Oahu. I'm sure it's bad on Oahu.
It's scary. I'll tell you what, Jennifer.
Because I wouldn't even go into a strip club on Oahu. You know what I mean? And I like to randomly go with my guy friends into a strip club, give the girl some money, make her feel good about herself. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't even step foot in one of those. It scares the shit out of me. Like even as a patron, you know, to even.
Yeah.
But I've almost been sold. I was living in Vegas. In Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah. And I thought I was with friends and I thought I could trust them. And I just happened to overhear and see them and I bolted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
You, young lady, are always a welcome guest.
I've been held captive before, like in places. I've had pimps outside the door, and every time I go out, they try to get me, and I go back in the building, and I come back out, they're still there, and they'll tell you, I'm not taking you by force. It has to be your choice.
Yep.
But he wouldn't freaking leave. I had to have my friend come get me, come in and walk me out and put me in his car.
Was this a stalker situation?
Huh?
Was this a stalker situation?
No, it was just a guy that saw me and decided he wanted to own me.
No.
He wanted to own you.
Yeah, but he wanted it to be my choice.
He's got some fucking cojones, boy. I want to
I know, right?
Jesus.
Wow. Oh.
You are always a welcome guest on this show. Tomorrow night, we have a coup tomorrow night. Television's Hercules, Kevin Sorbo will be with us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Kevin will be here tomorrow night. And Wednesday, get ready, folks. We're going to get controversial. Satanism. What is it really? Do we understand it? Jen, you want to join us for that one?
Welcome to Hollywood. What's your dream?
Yeah. You know what, Amelia? Send Jennifer that link for that Wednesday show.
We're going to be talking about actually Anton LaVey and Aleister Crowley.
And Anton LaVey. The impact of Satanism on pop culture, music, and film.
Oh,
by the way,
huge in music.
You want to join us on that one?
Absolutely. There's a big thing right now, Jen, in LA. There's everybody in LA now is paying homage to the Rain Man. What's the deal with the Rain Man?
The Rain Man?
Yeah, the new name for Satan. They're calling him the Rain Man.
They are.
Because he rains down blessings upon people who sell their selves over. Allegedly, that's you listen. This is LA. This is Hollywood, baby. Okay, you spent time in Hollywood, so you know where I'm going with this shit.
Yeah.
This is crazy stuff, Amelia. We did a 2-hour show on the Rain
Man.
Yeah,
we have. We've done it a couple of times actually.
You know what's so bizarre to me is so all of this stuff. A lot of these topics you guys talk about is all common knowledge. You know about all this stuff when you grow up in the industry because you're that tapped into that side of shit.
Yes.
You got to be really fucking careful.
Yes.
Because all you got to do is not be paying attention and you're owned. It's literally like a lot of these people, you guys, I don't even think they realize what they did until they can't get out.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the only way out is in a body bag. They'll let you think you're getting away, but
sadly,
absolutely.
I'll tell you what, we're going to do the story one day on the show. I've been putting it off for a little bit for personal reasons, but we're going to do a story on the show about a young, very highly successful actor in LA named Sal Mineo. If you don't know who he is, look his name up on Yahoo or Google. Sal Mineo was a remarkable actor. made a lot of film, great looking young guy that was mysteriously murdered outside of his apartment building because he refused to go with a couple of guys. They were going to make him an offer he couldn't refuse. Those kind of guys.
Oh.
And he refused.
Yeah.
And he refused. And that was the end of Sal Mineo. But we're going to do the story on the story behind the story. I have some insight and heads up on that story that will blow your mind. It may actually even reopen the case, as we did in the case of the Zodiac. Because of our show, they reopened the case.
Yes.
And we are actually working on reopening the case of the Black Dahlia.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's a case that rocked Hollywood to its core.
Yeah.
Yep. Elizabeth Smart. That was her name.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Dahlia. But we got some amazing shows coming up.
It sounds
Next
like it,
week.
guys.
Fabulous fads, famous fads, Jen, that came and went. The hula hoop, the Rubik's Cube, Cabbage Patch Babies. What else?
Sports
Stuffing
stuff.
people into a phone booth. Cramming people into a Volkswagen. You're so young, Jen. You don't know any of this stuff.
No, I do remember that. I do remember that. In Chinese fire drills, you get as many people in the
Oh
car
my
as you
God,
can.
yes,
And then you do
yes.
Chinese fire drills at like stoplights, and you all
Yes.
get out, and then, yeah.
I've been involved in many a Chinese fire drill right now.
I feel like we had such a great childhood. We got to be kids. We got to go outside. We got to do stupid shit. We did really stupid
Kick
shit.
the can, everything like that. Drinking the fire hose.
I lived stupid shit. Are you kidding me? Stupid shit was my middle name, baby.
Drink from the water hose. Kids don't know anything about that.
And next Wednesday, addicted to sports. Can you be addicted to sports? Yes, you can. Absolutely. And we'll talk about it with Big Lou Marconi. Until next week, for Jennifer Banco, and her new film, In the Shadows, a bunch of stuff she did with Glenn Martin, our friend Glenn Martin. By the way, Jen, if you talk to Glenn, tell him I'll call him. I'm going to talk to him. For Amelia the Pitbull Chapman, I am the Mad Dog. How the heck did I get my faces up there? Holy shit.
Oh no.
Yes, oh no is right.
Like, oh,
until next time, tomorrow night, actor Kevin Sorbo. We'll see you then, folks. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I'm the Mad Dog for Banco and the Pitbull. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.